Hello, and welcome to
Gank That Drank,
the Supernatural Drinking Game Podcast. And this is Season 2, Episode 8, Tall Tales and Roadkill.
Yeah, of course, in every episode of Gank That Drank, we task ourselves to play a plethora of drinking game rules as we watch 2 episodes of planet Earth's handsomest and most harrowing and long-running television show, Supernatural.
Yes, I believe it goes Meet the Press, Supernatural. Those are the order of longest-running TV shows. And of course, we play along with our own drinking game rules. Did you say that part already?
I did.
I already started drinking. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
This has been great.
What you need to know is that, after, you're not going to be with us when we watch. We're going to go watch, and it'll be as if we time traveled, because we're going to come right back.
Yeah.
And we're going to tell you what we thought of the episodes, and we're going to tell you
how the drinking game worked out.
Yeah.
And you, the listener, can do many things. The choices are infinite, but you could pause when we go watch the episode and watch it yourself and play along yourself.
I think you should.
I think you should. I recommend that.
I
recommend that. You could assume that you have every episode memorized.
You can't possibly.
And I mean, you might. Maybe you just have season 2 memorized. Who knows? And just keep listening and not pause. You do whatever you want. The choices are limitless. Just whatever you want,
just
reader.
Listen to
Listener.
us and be like, oh, right. I remember that episode they're describing now at this point.
Right.
But the important thing to know is that we will have been drinking.
Completely.
And we have the rules we're playing this season have been cumulative. Mm-hmm. So we are up to, this is episode 8, so we have 16 rules that we're playing at this point.
Yes, after tonight. Yeah, it'll be 16. We're adding 15 to 16.
Or it may actually be slightly more because we added 4 for episode 1.
So 17 and 18.
Mm-hmm.
Rules. 18, that's a lot of drinking rules for 2 episodes.
It is. But the two, and cover.
Are we going to go over all of them still?
We are.
Okay, we're still going to go over all of them?
But first we have to go over who the heck we are.
Oh, that's right.
Because
I forgot that part.
I am improv comedian Krissy Lenz.
And I am improv comedian Nate McWhortor.
And tonight we're watching episode 15 of season 2, 37 overall, Tall Tales. Aired February 15th, 2007. And we have a bit of a recovery from last episode's 2 million viewers back up to 3 million viewers. And then episode 16 for season 2, 38 overall, Roadkill, March 15th, 2007, 3.52 million viewers.
Yes, and as we were noting off air, they gain a whole 500,000 viewers by taking a month off.
Yep.
And apparently 1.5 million up from the prior episode. So things are looking up in 2007 for Kripke and the boys and girls running Supernatural.
Of course, you should definitely assume that there are going to be spoilers for a show that aired in 2007.
Yeah, it's been a long time. A long time. You could be listening to this in 2027. It's been 20 years since these episodes aired. Hello. Who's president now? I don't know. Anyway.
All right. So here are the rules that we are playing. We are playing Wi-Fi. Of course, take a drink anytime you're wondering how they're getting Wi-Fi. Although I think by next season, we're not going to be able to use that rule anymore.
Yeah, because, the iPhone. When did the iPhone come out? It was like 2007, 2008?
Look, I don't know.
I think somewhere around there.
But Wi-Fi is
out.
becoming more prevalent.
Yeah.
Rock salt.
Oh, drink anytime they use rock salt and drink twice if it doesn't work.
Yep. Concussion.
Drink anytime one of the boys has a traumatic head injury.
Yeah, and that's it is 2 drinks, but I think we've only been playing it as 1 because I think it's too many.
A lot.
Slam, which has been the big hitter so far.
Anytime there's a slam, take a drink, sip, whatever.
Toxic masculinity.
Oh, the biggin. If you feel like there's toxic masculinity, or there might be some toxic masculinity in the air, take a drink and debate.
Yep. Cuts.
Anytime someone cuts their hand, wrist, whatever, for a spell or a warding or to make sure they're not something, take a drink.
Someone dies.
Every time someone dies, take a drink. Take 2 drinks if you didn't know their name.
I feel like something has flown up my nose. Like I have that
Krissy's
tickling
got a
feeling.
spirit in her.
Cut me.
Demon's got her. That wasn't a plan.
Did I say someone dies already?
Yeah, someone dies.
Okay. Headache.
Oh, whenever Sammy gets one of his vintage yellow-eyed induced headaches, take a drink.
Jump scare.
Anytime there is a classic jump scare, take a drink.
Positive masculinity.
Whenever they do something that's positive, like talk about their feelings or like be open with someone, take a drink.
Copy a plot.
Wait, I have a question on that one. Does
Okay.
that count if a monster is forcing them to be open?
Oh, like if they're being...
Yeah, if they're being like...
trickstered?
Yeah, or changelinged, or not changelinged, shapeshifted or something like that.
I think so, because
That counts?
it's still an example on television,
Yeah.
you know, of a man
Yeah,
proving
even though
that
it's
he
like...
can be more than a stereotype.
under, like, against their will.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that
it
can fall
counts.
under positive and toxic masculinity.
Interesting.
Anyway, continue. I shouldn't have drank before the episode.
I know, right? Copy a plot.
If it's copied a plot from a TV show, movie, X-Files, whatever, take a drink.
Yeah, the example we give is that the zombie girlfriend episode in this is exactly like an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Broken furniture.
Oh, whenever there's some broken furniture, you know you're taking a drink.
Black eyes.
Whenever a demon goes black eyes, we're taking a drink.
And we added these last time, fake names.
Oh, when the boys use their classic rocker names or just any names, take a drink, and then if you like can recognize the reference, take 2 drinks.
That's right. Stay in the circle.
If they tell someone to stay in the circle, take a drink. If they don't stay in the circle, take 2 drinks.
That's right. And then today we're adding for episode 8, EMF.
Whenever they bust out that old EMF,
Take a sip.
take a sip.
And then pop culture references.
I believe this one falls under kind of 2 different rules. Yeah, if they make a pop culture reference,
Take a drink.
take a drink, and then if you get it,
If one of the boys doesn't
right,
get
if
it,
one of the boys doesn't get it,
then you double your
yes,
drink.
exactly.
Yep,
So them's the rules.
they are. So we're gonna go watch Tall Tale and Roadkill, and you won't know it. Like we'll instantaneously be right back here.
Completely.
But for us, time will pass.
Time will definitely pass.
We will sound tireder
Uh-huh.
and slower and less coherent.
But hopefully enthusiastic.
Yeah, because I'm
Yeah,
really, really
I am
excited for
too.
these episodes.
Yes.
Okay. All right, we'll see you on the other side. And we're back.
Yes, we are.
Hi.
Hello.
All right. Tall Tales.
It's great.
So this is a great episode.
Yes, it is.
This is one that you will go back and watch again and
100
again and
times.
again. It's a must-watch for sure. In no way is it skippable for so many reasons. So we start with what could be any typical cold open for a supernatural episode. A sexy co-ed who's like, oh, I'm not your student, sexy professor man. And he gives her smooches. She turns into a ghost before his eyes. And then he jumps to his death. The next thing we see is the actor, Richard Speight Jr., who's like, whoa, that's weird.
I'm going to insist that we go BoJack style and call him character actor Richard Speight Jr.
Okay, very good. So then Sam and Dean are doing their research on their computers, and Bobby shows up, and they're kind of telling him 2 different versions of
Yes.
what has happened so far.
Straight up stealing a plot device from the X-Files.
Is it though? Because
It
the
is.
X-Files didn't invent that plot point.
I agree they didn't invent the plot point, that plot device, because but at the same time it's so reminiscent of the way X-Files does it.
Where they're telling it like when
when
Dean's telling the story, Sam is a blithering, sentimental idiot. And when Sam is telling the story, Dean is a horn dog, disgusting
who eats
monster.
everything.
Yeah.
And like they're pausing, like the way they pause and do the little like narrative on top is the same way X-Files did it.
But so then they're like, okay, so then all this other weird stuff happened. Someone got abducted by aliens, and they're like, aliens? That could never be.
Yeah, they're really big on this aliens train.
But it really makes no sense to me ever when they're like, we don't believe in blank. We don't believe in aliens. Aliens, that's totally a myth.
Same as speaking of
Doctor.
aliens, the Doctor is in.
Totally a myth.
Leave this in, Krissy. Leave this part in.
I swear to you, this happened. Like I get a text alert at least once per episode of every podcast that I do.
Do it.
Everyone will know whenever I get a text. Just believe in everything. Don't ever poo-poo anything.
Well, and we were talking about
Leprechauns,
this.
fairies,
Yeah.
it's all real.
How, like, even in later seasons with imaginary friends or God, like, Dean is always just like, ugh, there's no way. That's
That
not
can't
real.
exist.
That can't be a thing.
Just vampires,
You're like,
werewolves, djinn, shapeshifters.
Dean, do you need the speech every, like, half season or so? Like, what? Yeah.
Yep. And so the guy who gets eaten by a sewer alligator, and they're realizing these are sort of poetic punishments. Meanwhile, they're getting pranked, seemingly, by one another. And Bobby's like, you guys are being idiots. It's so obviously a trickster. So they go check on the janitor, played by character actor Richard Speight Jr., and they find a Weekly World News among his things that sort of has stories about a guy getting eaten by sewer dragons and
Girl
somebody
taken by UFOs.
Yes.
And
So then they decide to split up, and Dean gets sort of cornered by these sexy ladies, and the trickster, played by character actor Richard Speight Jr., reveals himself and is like, hey, I like you guys. Come on. I'm not hurting anybody who doesn't deserve to be hurt.
Yeah.
Just move along. Let me move along to the next town. We just shake and call it a day. He uses the phrase, hoisted on their own petard.
Yeah.
And they sort of trick the trickster because he's like, you shouldn't have come alone. And they're all like, we didn't. And then Bobby and Sam come in and they, a fight ensues. Pretty funny fight where the trickster conjures up a
weird
chainsaw massacre type guy.
Scarecrow.
And then the two sexy women are just beating the shit out of Dean, which I love. And then they stabby the trickster, which seems too easy.
Way too easy.
Lo and behold,
he's alive.
Not dead.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of like the point in all this is like, oh, we're going to see him again.
And we do see him again.
Yeah. And
in season 3,
we know
the mystery spot.
Sure. He comes back like 2 consecutive seasons.
The wishing well.
Following this, yeah.
Okay. So, character actor Richard Speight Jr. Is many things, right? So he's a recurring character actor on Supernatural, but he is also the star of it started as a web series and now I think is a legit series called Kings of Con, because Richard Speight Jr., who plays the trickster / a different character who hasn't happened yet / a different character that hasn't happened yet, is the host of the Supernatural conventions that happen all around the globe.
Is he really?
Along with the actor who plays Carver Enland. His name is Rob. I'm going to have to look it up. He plays the Prophet of the Lord, Carver Enland, a.k.a. Chuck. A.k.a. a character.
I just watched the musical episode recently, and it's amazing.
Oh, where Chuck pops up?
Everyone watch it. The rendition of Carry On My Wayward Son at the end of that episode.
Rob Benedict. So Rob Benedict and Richard Speight Jr. are sort of the masters of ceremonies for the Supernatural conventions.
Really? I didn't know that.
They play music. They're delightful and hilarious human beings who work really well together. So they have a show called Kings of Con, where it's just kind of their experiences.
Oh, yeah. It's on AMC, yeah? Or no.
I'm not sure what it's on.
But it's, isn't Alan Tudyk...
No. You're thinking of Con Man, which is a similar show where Alan Tudyk is someone who's on a Firefly-like show. Right. This is different. This is Kings of Con, and it's Richard Speight Jr. and Rob Benedict.
It's a Doug Benson documentary. No, I'm just kidding. Let's throw out free shout-outs to everyone.
But it's on Amazon Prime. You can watch it on YouTube, the paid YouTube or whatever. But it definitely started out as a not something they got paid for, and now it's something they get paid for. Anyway, if you go to one of the Supernatural cons, you're going to get to see them. You can get pictures taken with them. They're pretty great.
Yeah.
And Richard Speight Jr. has directed several episodes. The first episode of Supernatural he directed was season 11, Just My Imagination, about the imaginary friends.
Which I literally just watched for the first time recently.
And it's great.
Like the actor who plays the imaginary friend, Sully, in that episode is so good.
We'll talk about it 11 years from
we
now when we get
will.
to episode
Some year
season
from
11.
now, when we talk about season 11, we'll talk about him. But like, quick shout out to that guy
So good.
because he's really, really good, and he's good in everything he's done, which I couldn't tell
very
you a
good.
single thing off the top of my head.
But it's a
drunk
great
right now.
episode.
But like,
It's a great
yeah,
episode.
it's a great episode. Check it out. Fast forward to season 11. It's a standalone. You don't need.
It is a standalone.
Yeah.
But yes, it's really, really good. And so this is our first chance to meet
The
Richard
trickster.
Spade Jr.
Yeah, Robert Spade Jr. plays
Richard.
Richard
Spade Jr.
Richard-
Character actor Richard Spade
Character
Jr.
actor Richard
It's so
Spade
good.
Jr.
All right, and then we watched Roadkill.
Okay, so this whole episode, I'm sitting here telling Krissy, hey, we watched this episode already. The device of a strange person on a highway is causing people to drive off the highway.
It's like episode 1.
An oft used device in Supernatural. So this is called Roadkill, the episode. Yep. Couple drives off the road is how we have our cold open. And then,
She wakes up.
she wakes
alone
up,
in the car.
sees some old ghost guy is what I have written here.
That's what I wrote too.
Yep.
Dead guy ghost.
Dead guy ghost.
Run.
And then she runs, and then his name is Greeley. We meet the boys finally come into it. And I'm just going to read what I have written in my notes here, which is, who is this lady? Which is an accurate description of what happens in the episode. Who is this lady? Why is she running from this guy?
I
And,
wrote down,
why don't we see the husband?
Dean's being kind of mean.
Yeah, everything is mean towards this woman,
And I also wrote, if you know the ending, then it's really nice to see all the acting.
right, which I didn't remember until the very
Acting.
Yeah, the very end.
Some people only see what they want to see.
So I wrote it down as my lesson learned from this episode, though. Don't follow voices.
Never.
Don't follow the voices.
Go away from where the voices are trying to
If the
take you.
voices are saying Molly McNamara, come here, don't follow them.
Don't follow them.
Stick with the very strong-jawed dudes that you are with.
Yeah. And also that goes along with our rule to always have M&Ms in your pocket from back in season 1. Like, when you're out in the woods, have M&Ms and don't follow voices.
Yeah.
And I wrote, my notes on this that I like are, Sammy explains spirits and Dean doesn't dig it.
No.
That's my thing.
Because as we find out later, he's explaining what she is, but
Right.
we got
Because
a whole
Sam is-
Obi-Wan thing
Sam
going
is
on
really
here.
taking his time being like, some spirits only see what they want to see, and
Yeah.
some spirits have unfinished business, and
Yeah.
some spirits this, and some spirits that, and
Dean's like, just tell her she's dead, and yeah.
Well, he's saying just tell her about her husband.
Right, yeah.
So we think the episode is leading you Sixth Sense style to believe
The
that her
husband's dead.
husband is dead.
But no.
No.
She is dead.
She's straight up dead.
Straight up. Yeah, and so I feel like we get a little Obi-Wan in this episode where we definitely have it just depends on your point of view what it is. But she's dead.
But they have a big moment at the end where they confront the ghost of the dead farmer who she did kill.
Yeah, absolutely. She killed this guy.
And it was an accident.
It was an accident 15 years ago, but
he wants to, every year
so we have this moment, though.
he catches her and cuts her with his fingernails, and
Yeah.
it's disgusting.
We have this moment. See, so the dead body of some lady,
The wife.
the wife.
It's the wife.
Who has hanged herself.
Because her husband's dead.
Because her husband's dead because this woman hit him. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, let's just bury her.
But they know... Okay, say your thing first.
Of all the people, and even at this point in time, a season and a half into this shit,
Oh, we're like a season and 2/3 in.
who should know that if you just see a random skeleton hanging from the ceiling...
Salt and burn those bones.
Salt and burn the damn bones.
Well, except for my counter argument is just that they know that she's not a vengeful spirit who's there haunting
I don't
because
care.
they know.
No, they don't know. Burn them.
They do know. They looked at the microfiche, Nate.
Burn them.
They looked at the microfiche.
Burn them. Oh my God. Just salt and burn every bones that you see ever. Unless they're going to help you with a spell that whatever. Anyway. But,
so
okay.
They take her to see your husband.
They take her to see her husband, and they totally, like, what's it called? It's a Wonderful Life /
yeah. Reverse It's a Wonderful Life.
Christmas Carol, this shit, where they're like, hey,
you've been dead the whole time.
You've been dead. But real quick, the song.
Before you get that. Two things just before you get that. One is that she's like, oh, you just needed me as bait? And it's like, yeah.
You're dead.
You are dead.
But you're dead, so we don't care.
You're like literally the best bait.
Yeah. We have a clear conscience about using you as bait.
Because you're
a dead person.
And you've done this 15 times.
And so we have a ghost case chasing a ghost. Mm-hmm. Because the ghost is mad at the ghost for killing it.
So they salt and burn the one ghost, and then they Sixth Sense the other ghost.
They Sixth Sense the other ghost.
But we asked ourselves, like, why didn't a Reaper come get her? And we then postulated that perhaps just things move slower in the country.
A Reaper just can't get out to that parts of town.
Yeah.
The Reaper's busy in the city.
Maybe you city ghosts expect to get reaped every 15 minutes, but here it takes 15 years. Well, she's a pretty famous guest star, too, because she's from Battlestar Galactica. Do you recognize her? She's the beautiful blonde Cylon woman.
The robot one?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, that's not the same
blonde
woman.
Oh, it is.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No. All right, so here's how our roast played out.
No, holy shit. That's the same...
Isn't it?
Trisha? No, it's not the same actress.
Look it up.
No, it's not.
Look it up while I talk about the rules.
Okay, you talk about the rules. I'm going to look that shit up.
Okay. It is. Dorian's nodding his head. He says it is. But she's blonde in Battlestar. Okay, so rock salt happened twice, but once we got the extra one because it didn't work. No concussions. Slam happened once that we counted. We were not doing a great job of counting.
No, we did a bad job.
It's been a long time since we recorded together. Toxic masculinity happened 3 times. We counted it as the slut shaming.
It is Trisha Helfer.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
She's a brunette in this.
How did I not recognize that? She's great in Battlestar Galactica.
She's a very tall woman. Good for her.
She's great.
We counted slut shaming. We counted the shaming of the guy who got hazed by the aliens, saying they made him as their bitch and that they had to slow dance. And we counted that Dean accuses Sam of always saying pansy stuff.
Yeah, that episode is rife with toxic masculinity.
Someone dies happened 4 times. Jump scare happened once. We had 1 instance of EMF being used, and we only caught 1 pop culture reference, but there were bagillions that we missed.
There was a ton. The one we caught was the Haley Joel Osment reference.
Right at the end, but that was after I was like, oh, shit, we have not been paying attention.
I'm like burping a bunch now because I'm a little drunk.
I have some trivia. I have some IMDb trivia from the episode.
Okay.
Nothing from Roadkill, but this is from
Tall Tales.
Tall Tales. Sam's laptop gets frozen on BustyAsianBeauties.com, which links directly to the official Warner Brothers site. It also marks the first mention of Busty Asian Beauties, which became a recurring joke in future episodes.
Yes, it did. And then I said, hey, Krissy, we should make it a rule. One of our drinking
whenever they
rules,
reference porn.
Whenever they reference, like, porn, that Dean watches porn. Yeah. Especially, Asian. He's got a thing for Asians.
They reference specifically that site over and over.
Yeah, they do.
I thought this was interesting. The band Junk Food won a CW competition on MySpace. Hello, everyone. On MySpace. To have their song Next to You included in the show. It plays while Sam and Dean are in the bar. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Yeah. And that's all from IMDb. Okay. So the only lesson learned we have from this is don't follow the voices.
Correct. Also, Trisha Helfer just always
good.
Always follow her. Holy cow. I didn't recognize her. How did I not? We need to watch this episode again. I didn't recognize Trisha Helfer.
I'm happy to watch it again. Join us next time.
Yes, please do.
I mean, the way things are going, we might record 2 years from now.
We're fine. We're good.
We're fine.
We're
yeah,
okay.
and then we're going to be watching Heart and Hollywood Babylon. Do you remember that one?
Oh, yeah. It's one of my favorites.
Okay. So, yeah, it is one of your favorites.
It
I remember
is,
that's,
yes.
that's one that
it's
we
one
talked
of the very
about.
first episodes I ever watched.
Yes. So that's going to be a fun one. Join us for that. Sorry. Let me get back.
Yeah, join us for that. If you have any recommendations for a drinking rule, let us know at...
Like, rate, review, find us. We're at mostexcellentpod.com. We're at mostexcellentpod on the tweets, the Instagram. No, not the tweets, just the Instagrams.
Where are you at on the tweets?
I'm at Krissy Letts.
And I'm at Nate MCW.
And you can find us both at NCT PHX on Instagram, NCT Phoenix, all spelled out on
the
Twitters.
Twitters, yeah.
Yeah, and let us know if you're playing along with these rules and you find something that we missed. Let us know. Leave us a review.
If you're like, hey, you're not drunk enough, or hey, you're too drunk, let us know.
Thank you for listening, and remember your Gank That Drank lessons learned. Don't follow those voices.
Follow the voices.
And while you're out there saving people and hunting things, please keep the Most Excellent Podcast motto in mind. Be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes. I can't believe we made it.
That was super fun.
With the battery.
That was super fun.